Hey everybody, welcome to another video review. It's been a while since I've uploaded a lightsaber collectible on my channel. Running out of lightsabers, both room for them and also running out of them to get, I guess. I've still got a few coming in, maybe the next couple months, but yeah, most of the major ones are kind of obtained. Anakin Signature Edition. I've found a reliable source, and at that point, I think the only one I'm really having no luck really is the Obi-Wan weathered, at least for the price point that I think is reasonable. But that's a conversation for a different day. This video review will be of the Darth Maul battle damaged lightsaber from Master Replicas, a limited edition of 750, of which this is 173 out of 750. You see the plaque very nicely there. So luckily this is not one of those releases where we had to search for a worldwide edition plaque. In my opinion, quite excellent condition. This is a little bit tricky. All battle damage lightsabers are tricky because you're not sure what's actually wear and tear from 20 years and what's actually part of the design of the saber itself. As usual, I've prepared the acrylic cover and the mirror base with brilliantized polish, which not only makes it really nice and clean, but also puts like a little bit of anti-static as well. So it's almost like a little bit of a dust repellent, or it's much easier to dust with the brilliantized on top. The mirror base, of course, has its normal complement of little micro scratches, which are invisible unless you're actually looking at them and tilting the base at 30 to 40 degree angle. Once polished, it looks perfectly fine. So what story is there behind this? It's pretty rare. You don't see many of these on eBay or the forums for sale. 750 is typically an edition number reserved for signature editions. We're talking Luke Skywalker New Hope, for instance. We're talking Mace Windu signed edition. So 750 is definitely on the more rare spectrum. I got this off of a friend in the United Kingdom, and quite pleased with it. Now, in terms of the history behind it, there's a couple of things I think going against this particular hilt, but we'll delve into that a little bit later. I just wanted to kind of turn it a few more times. You can get to appreciate it, what it looks like in its display. As you can see, it's so slippery that just turning it around on this like rocky turntable, the plaque is already sort of slipping around, okay? But in any case, this is what it looks like in display, in its case. Let's take the acrylic off. Let's put the background on. Here we have it. Line up the plaque again. So this is, in my opinion, this is probably, when we're talking about the 25 Master Replicas lightsabers that were released, I would have to say this is the bottom 5. It would be 21 to 25, the bottom 5th. But to be fair, I think I will probably put it at number 21. the top of the lowest tier in essence. One of the main reasons for this is that this is not really considered a canon lightsaber. From the Phantom Menace, of course, we know that during the duel, Obi-Wan Kenobi did chop Darth Maul's lightsaber in half during their duel. And this is sort of Master Replica's conceit of what it would look like were we, to have actually seen it, in the movie. What would a prop of of Darth Maul's double-bladed lightsaber have looked like chopped in half? In case you didn't know, there was never a prop made for that. As you can imagine, a large part of the action was CGI, and so the lightsaber chopped in half was a CGI lightsaber, and they never bothered making a prop of the damaged saber because it was in the film literally hardly at all. And Darth Maul met his seeming end very shortly thereafter. So again, technically, this is a prop very similar to the Mara Jade one. That's kind of from the imagination of the designers of the creative team behind Master Replicas. And for that reason alone, I think some people kind of hold that fact against it, in a sense that it's not actually a canon prop. Another thing kind of going against it is the fact that for whatever reason, Darth Maul's regular lightsaber, it's just not that popular. I mean, the idea of a double-bladed lightsaber, of course, is amazing. And when it first made its appearance in the Phantom Menace, people basically just lost their marbles. And I still think it's a pretty awesome idea. It's an awesome concept, and it's had various wrinkles, both through the Clone Wars as well as even later on in the sequel trilogy, when Dark Rey had a version of this in the Vision. It's kind of kept its hold on the popular imagination for all of these years. But when you look at the actual design of Darth Maul's lightsaber, it's just not terribly, sexy, not terribly beautiful. It doesn't have the iconic stature of the original trilogy lightsaber blades, but it has none of the bling of the prequel trilogy. It's by far I don't want to say by far, because Qui-Gon Jinn's lightsaber we're going to have to get to eventually, but it's one of the worst looking in the sense that there's no chrome, there's no gold accents, and why would there be, honestly? This belongs to obviously a Sith apprentice, so to speak. But still, the original lightsaber is very plain. The paint app is very gray, very dull, matte painting. Again, doesn't really hold a candle next to, say, the chrome plate and gold accents of Count Dooku's pistol grip hilt, or say the luxury of Darth Sidious's lightsaber. It's just not quite there. It looks sort of cheap. It looks plasticky. Now I can tell you that when you have it up close and in person, you're holding your hands, it's anything but it doesn't photograph well. You know how some people are very photogenic? Well, the same thing goes for collectibles. The same thing goes for lightsabers. And the Darth Maul lightsaber is just not a particularly photogenic, lightsaber. It's not very appealing when you look at it in pictures. And that, to a large extent, it explains its, quite frankly, pretty low value in the secondary market compared to other Master Replica hilts, some 20 years later. Another problem, of course, is that the original Darth Maul, double-sided lightsaber was very long, and Master Replicas decided to cheap out by not providing a longer mirror base nor a longer acrylic cover, forcing a lot of collectors at the time to kind of shell out extra money themselves to get that done. And I feel like that's sort of like an embarrassing decision by Master Replicas. But again, it's easy to criticize. Maybe at that time, the company was already beginning to fold and their time and their window had closed. So if that's the original kind of double-sided Darth Maul lightsaber and the feeling of many toward it, then you can only imagine why would there be any excitement over that particular lightsaber just simply cutting half. And then on top of that, a non-canon prop to boot. So now you can begin to appreciate the fact that, number one, they only made 750 because they didn't really expect there to be much demand for this. And they were accurate. I think this sat around for quite a while. They had offer discounts if you want to dig through the old Master Replicas threads. And again, in hand, it's okay, but it's not like mind-blowing or anything like that. But as with all things Master Replicas related, over time, right, as things become more and more and more rare, just because of the fact that they only made 750, this has sort of achieved or kind of regained a little bit of its luster, so to speak, because it is now become quite rare to find it, to get it, especially complete in box in good condition. And so that's what I have in front of me right now. So before going into the actual handling of the hilt like I always do, let's just take a look here at the plaque. Not much to this, the normal Star Wars Episode 1 Phantom Menace. You can see Darth Maul battle damage lightsaber with the logos and the limited edition 173 out of 750 total. We're gonna put that back, and then we're gonna take this aside. Let's take a look at the certificate of authenticity. You can see that this is an older piece because it has the beige envelope instead of the black, and also the fact that it's a real envelope instead of one of those fold-out versions. And you can see that there's a little bit of discoloration, almost like a little bit of pink discoloration for this envelope. If we get into the certificate of authenticity, you can see that everything is complete. You have, again, the Master Replicas. I believe this is the Society. Or is this the registration? Okay, no, this is just a registration card. And then you have the limited edition warranty. This is the invitation to the Master Replicas Collector Society. There you go here. And then one of my favorites, the product catalog. Let's open it up and see which one this is. So as you can see, this was the one released from the very beginning, the 2002, where you can see the Vader and the Dooku's, the signature edition replicas, both for Vader as well as for Count Dooku, and then the Force effects. So this kind of gives you an idea of the generation that the battle damaged hilt is from. So look at some of the membership benefits. You're the first to receive new releases, the first to place your order, access to low series numbers, the first to order web exclusive collectibles, and a personalized Collector Society membership card, as well as a pin. But the real big deal is the ability to place the orders first and the low numbers. The collector I bought this from was obviously a member of the society, and so most of his hilts have low numbers. So when we open this, you can see that this is it has the same like transparent sheet of paper with a Master Replica certificate in gold, and then just like a spacer paper. So again, this is definitely the same generation as the dual signature Vader and Dooku in 2002. Again, you can see here the very classy gold embossed stamp. Howard Rothman and Scott Vogel, president of Lucas Licensing, and she is CEO of Master Replicas, respectively. Here we go here. Kind of interesting. The original film, read this carefully. recreated from original Lucasfilm archival materials, including a detailed examination of the original filming prop when available. So they hedge their bets. This replica is an accurate reproduction of the filming prop seen on screen in the Star Wars saga. So again, this is sort of a generic phrasing, not exact. Doesn't exactly mention battle damaged. But over here we have the actual description. So I'm going to scroll up very carefully and slowly so you can read it. You can pause and read it yourself. So here's the actual description of the prop itself. This model of Darth Maul's severed lightsaber represents our realization of the weapon as it might have appeared after the deadly duel. We've weathered it with battle scars and burns that could have been inflicted during the mortal battle with Obi-Wan. This unique replica also demonstrates an interpretation of the intricate inner workings of a lightsaber. It shows numerous lateral power conduits and a complex array of synthetic red crystals that serve as the power source and produce the fiery red blade. So there you have it. Some nice lore. Again, we'll place the spacer in here. As you can see, the side of this is a little bit dirty here, but there you go, 20 years and all. Overall, very nice certificate of authenticity. I'm gonna put everything else back. I'll put this in the envelope right here. So I hope you enjoyed that, because not very many people have the opportunity to actually read the inside of the certificate of authenticity of something like this. One of the immediate things I noticed is when I look here, there's no stamp of the Master Replicas logo. Usually on every other lightsaber, on the side, it's embossed the information, right? The year, the date, all of this stuff. So it's kind of crazy that we don't have that. But this is, as you can see, the emitter side of the lightsaber. So you can see they added the battle damage scratches, what it would look like after the battle with Obi-Wan. Here you have, as with all of the prequels, they have the cover tech, which doesn't make much sense. Why would this be here? It's a double-sided lightsaber. How's he going to carry it on his belt? I don't really know. But there you go. This is supposed to go on the cover tech clip. There's a little bit of glass here. You can see the details here. And then apparently changing this changes the length of the blade according to the certificate of authenticity. You can see the knurling here and here. The bit of weathering all throughout. You can see the weathering here and here. Then moving along. More knobs. This is sort of a mirror image of this, so not really. You can see the repetition of the patterns. What's going on here. It's also what's going on here. Then what makes this really unique, now that you cleaved the blade in half, you can see the inner workings, which I think is actually pretty neat. You can see the red crystals powering it up. You can see the little knobs. Here, I'm gonna hopefully focus a little bit, move it a little bit. You can see the little detailed knobs right there. And you can actually tell that it's not a straight perpendicular, but slanted, as you would expect from a random blade cut. So I thought that was a kind of a nice detail. So you would think that this is the place where you have the lightsaber come out, but no, that's not the emitter. The emitter, of course, is over here. So the business end of the lightsaber would come out this way. This is the cut end chopped in half. So there you have it here. So yeah, overall, nice specimen, has a nice weight to it. And again, you can tell that in person, you know, this is all, again, metal, aluminum, heavy, good quality. Here's the rubber washer. In the original Maul, this thing would degenerate very, very easily, very quickly. But in the battle damage version, this is stayed in place pretty nicely. And as you can see, it hasn't really degenerated at all, so that's good. You can again see the battle damage all the way throughout, the scratches, things like that throughout the piece. And again, if you look at the paint, you can see that over here, they definitely gave it sort of a darker weathering paint job as if to recreate the heat damage from the lightsaber severing this in half. So that's another nice little touch. If you can kind of, you know, get an idea of the subtle paint job here to make it more soot-like, more charred, more blackened from the heat. Look at me, even I'm holding it backwards, so yeah, we should be holding it this way, obviously. So there you go. Kind of giving you a little bit more close-up detail throughout. Just again, seeing all the weathering, the details of the saber itself. Yeah, pretty good stuff. Only 750 in existence. Let's get everything back together where it should be. Let's get the background off. Get this acrylic case back on. So yeah, there you have it. Hope you enjoyed getting a chance to check out the story behind the battle damaged Darth Maul lightsaber. Get a chance to examine the prop close up. Get a chance to see the original display case. This is original. It's kind of interesting. I think this piece must have come along near the tail end of the original, like maybe first batch, because the acrylic case at the base has now, as you can see, begun to transition to the newer versions where there's no longer like a, this is more like an outer lip, and there's no longer that internal groove where it sits, as you would see with the Obi-Wan and the Darth Vader dual signature, for instance. So this seems to me at least to point to a later, a later release in that life cycle. And again, I like this a lot better where, you know, it's on the outside, just because I feel like it gives you a little bit more base, a little bit more room on the inside. So here we go here. Certificate of authenticity on top. You can see the plaque is already sliding around. take it away, you can't really see it very well. Pretty interesting. There was one collector who actually bought 2 of these and displayed them side by side to sort of like mimic, you know, the original lightsaber being severed in half, which I thought was kind of a neat touch. Remember, at one point these things were going for like $300 each, right? So you could afford to buy 2 of them just to make that little snazzy display. All right. I don't have much more to say other than what I've done. I just kind of gone through my normal protocol for showcasing the hilt. So now I still have to get Yoda, Revenge of the Sith, Qui-Gon, Obi-Wan, Attack of the Clones. Those 3, sort of the easier ones to get, maybe not quite as desirable. But yeah, those would be the bottom 5. Battle damaged Darth Maul, Qui-Gon, Obi-Wan, Attack of the Clones, and then the 2 Yodas. Those make up the 5th and bottom tier of hilts. Hope you enjoyed that review. Until next time, do take care.